a student author, Antigone, and Polypalooza. Good morning, Belen. I'm Christopher Alvarez.
And I'm Jose Cobilla, and welcome to WBLN.
Last night, Belen and Lord Student Councils teamed up to host Polypalooza in the Roca Theater, with the proceeds from the event going to be donated to Holtz Children's Hospital. The event brought together 4 teams of seniors from each school to a lip sync battle, with the winning team being awarded a trophy that will be showcased until the next year's event.
And announce that we have won the first one. This is a Belen Dome. This is history. This is history in the making.
Senior Kevin Valito published a children's book about inclusion. The book tells the story of 2 children, Jack and George, who attend a camp with students who have disabilities and learn that, although they may have some differences, they also share many similarities. The book is called Know Me for My Ability, Not My Disability, and includes beautiful illustrations that help captivate the reader and tell the story.
So for the past 3 summers, I served as a mentor at Shake a Leg Miami, which is a summer camp that's for kids with disabilities, and it fosters inclusion, and that was basically the inspiration behind my book. And I thought, hey, if they taught inclusion there, why can't we teach inclusion through books with little kids starting at a really young age? And I thought that was really important. So that's like the main reason why I wanted this book to come to fruition. And yeah.
Ever wondered what all the hype is about the Antigone project? Javianes has more.
Every year, seniors take part in what is known as the Antigone Project. But what exactly is it?
So every year, as part of 12th grade English, there is the legendary Antigone Project, in which students read the famous Greek play Antigone, and then instead of taking a test on it, they break into groups, and they have about a month to come up with an idea of how to take some of the themes from that play, which is a couple thousand years old, and update them to modern times. And they eventually produce a film in which they do this. But prior to that, there's some preliminary steps. Among them is a movie poster, and you see those go up a few weeks before the movies are done, and they stay up for a year. So students are fired up, waiting for these movies to come out. And usually, historically, what students have done is they'll take the Antigone themes or the conflicts, and then they will synthesize them with either a current movie or a TV show, a play. Sometimes they'll invent a brand new story altogether, updating those same themes. What I'm trying to accomplish is a few things. I want to expand their critical thinking ability to see patterns where others might not necessarily see them. Also, from a literature teacher's perspective, I want them to realize that the same archetypes of plots and symbols and the same types of characters keep showing up in our stories across continents and across centuries. Also, they have a lot of fun with this. They get to be creative, they get to be imaginative. We have these awards at the end where we rank the best film, the funniest film, the worst acting, the best costuming, and things like that. And one of the awards that we'd like to come up with is the I Didn't Know You Had It In You award, because in this project there are students who have been quiet, shy throughout their tenure here at Belen, and all of a sudden in this project something awakens and they let it rip, either creatively writing it or on screen. So that's the now legendary Antigone Project that everyone looks forward to for senior year.
The Belen DECA Club has been making many strides this school year. Bobby Espen has more.
Belen has many clubs, be it academic teams, honor societies, or enrichment clubs. However, one of these teams is different than the rest. The Belen Jesuit DECA team is one that is growing in members at an astounding rate.
We were looking for possibilities of national or international organizations and business to associate with, and DECA was the best one out there.
What type of student would be interested in DECA?
A student who is primarily a creative individual, an innovative individual, someone who wants to go after something and get it, who is willing to put in the work and the effort to achieve something rather great in the United States.
So I started being a member for DECA about 2 years ago. At the time it wasn't known as DECA, but rather the Business Forum. Being in DECA, really what I learned is more about how can I improve myself? More, how can I improve the chapter? How can I improve generally the experience for all the members?
The club will be sending over 20 members to Orlando in March to compete for states. For more on this info, we'll keep you updated. For WBLN, I'm Robbie Esper.
Michael Bloomberg recently donated $10 million to House Democrats. Frank Garcia Montes has more.
The former mayor turned presidential candidate is giving the money to representatives facing attack ads for supporting the impeachment of President Donald Trump. Last month, he announced he will spend $100 million on his own anti-Trump ads. The billionaire candidate has a history of spending on political advertising. He dropped more than $100 million in donations during last year's midterm election to help flip the House to Democrats. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi welcomed his newest donation.
What's up, Wolverines? Here are your sports for today. As basketball season begins, we take a look back at a man who continues to have an influential presence on the program.
Longtime head of basketball operations at Belen Jesuit, Vince Fernandez passed away early January of 2018. A huge role model and mentor to many, his legacy will always be remembered.
So Vince is someone that I personally have always looked up to, and he's always been known around the school as like the Godfather. As to say, because he had a lot of connections and he knew a lot of people, and he was a very loved person. And for me personally, he always believed in me ever since I was a kid, because when I was young, no one ever believed in me for basketball. They always thought I would just be nothing. No one would really care. But Vince always believed that I could become something. And after every game, he'd always give me tips. And I really treasure that, because I'd say without Vince, I would not be the basketball player I am or the person that I am today. And I really think that's a really important thing about Vince, and that's why so many people loved him and what he did for the family and community.
So whenever I would have a bad game, he would always come up to me, say it's all right, you'll get it next time, you'll play good, play better the next time, kid. And it always helped me focus up a little more, focus up for the next game. And he was always he was a real people person. He was always making people laugh, joking around, and he was really caring. Even before our freshman year, before our Columbus game, he would take us to go eat, and he would do that several times throughout the year, just to show he really cared about us. And he was really he was a big focal point, and he was a big thing here at Belen.
Well, I remember Vince being my sub all the way from 6th grade, and remember that he wasn't that much of a talkative guy or anything like that, but he was always there for us when we needed to talk or just wanted to laugh. I remember he used to be a super funny guy, and he was all around a great person, and I miss him a lot.
And the fact is, we feel like he's still around, and actually in my office I always keep a picture. He was the facilitator. That's what his nickname was. So he always stays close to me and to Belen.
Not just will Vince Fernandez's name and legacy be hanging in the rafters of the Belen Gymnasium forever, but in our minds and hearts as well.
Wednesday afternoon, the freshman basketball team took on Westminster here at home and lost 61-41. Kevin Garcia and Joshua Perez led scorers with 7 points each. The JV soccer team faced off against Gulliver Wednesday and tied 1-1. The varsity team also had a game taken on Southridge and beating them with a score of 3-0. Now on to the pros. The Miami Heat take on the LA Lakers tonight here in Miami at the American Airlines Arena. Going into the game undefeated at home this season, they face LeBron James and the hottest team in the West with a record of 22-3. Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo are both coming off triple-double performances after their win Tuesday against the Hawks. This Sunday, the Miami Dolphins take on the New York Giants in New York. Miami, looking to get their 4th win of the season, is playing against a struggling Giants team with a record of 2-11. That's all for sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you for watching the final WBLN of the decade. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. I'm Jose Cobiella.
And I'm Christopher Alvarez, and from all of us here at WBLN, happy holidays.